Welcome to my today's video where I'm going to show you how to enable passkey authentication in Microsoft Entra ID via the Microsoft Authenticator application. Physical hardware FIDO2 keys has been supported for quite some time in Microsoft Entra ID for authentication, but software passkeys were not supported until recently. Microsoft has recently introduced software passkey support for authentication in Microsoft Entra ID that's currently in public preview and is limited to Microsoft Authenticator application only and only for device-bound passkeys. Device-bound means that the passkeys cannot be synchronized between devices. So if you create the passkey in Microsoft Authenticator on your phone, it stays on the phone and is not synchronized anywhere else on any other device. However, Microsoft considers also adding support for other applications for passkey authentication, such as the built-in support in iOS and Android. And Microsoft also considers supporting synchronized passkeys. So that would allow also usage of password managers such as 1Password or Bitwarden that already supports passkey authentication, but not for Microsoft Entra ID, because like I've already said, only Microsoft Authenticator and only device-bound passkeys in Microsoft Authenticator are currently supported. But we are still in the public preview phase. If you want to enable authentication via Microsoft Authenticator passkeys, you open the Azure portal or Microsoft Entra ID portal, go to Security, Authentication Methods, Policies, and open the FIDO2 security key policy, or maybe in your tenant it's already called Passkey FIDO2. And first of all, you need to make sure that this method or this policy is enabled. I definitely recommend enabling it for all users because passkeys or FIDO2 keys are the strongest authentication method that's available in Microsoft Entra ID. This authentication method is already considered phishing resistant, so definitely enable it and start using it in your tenant. If you want to enable Microsoft Authenticator, you need to change also a few other things. First of all, you need to go to Configure and turn off attestation. Attestation during the public preview phase is not supported, but Microsoft has already officially announced that attestation will be supported when Microsoft Authenticator passkeys become generally available. But for now, during this public preview phase, you need to turn off the attestation. Self-service setup should be definitely enabled because we want to allow end users to start using passkeys or FIDO2 keys, so we want to allow them to enroll it actually for their accounts. Then what you need to do is you need to enforce key restrictions. So you need to turn this on, and you need to turn on this Microsoft Authenticator preview option. You can click Save, and with this, you have enabled Microsoft Authenticator with the passkey authentication for your tenant, for your users. Now, users can start enrolling their Microsoft Authenticator for passkeys. There are two ways how they can do it. And first, easiest and recommended way is directly from the Microsoft Authenticator application on their phones. If they open the application, click the plus in the top right corner to add new account, and then they click work or school account, and then they choose the sign in option. They simply sign in with their corporate credentials, and this option automatically adds all supported authentication methods for the account to the Microsoft Authenticator application, including passkeys. And that's the reason why it's recommended, because it adds passkeys, it adds one-time password, it also adds the push notification option. So all of the authentication options are added at once. Even if you already have registered your account with Microsoft with Microsoft Authenticator application, you can choose this option. It will simply add passkeys to the existing account that's already there. So it won't double the account, it just adds the passkey option to your account. So definitely recommend it. The other way how end users can do it is if they go to the aka.ms/setupsecurityinfo or the mysignins.microsoft.com, and they click this add sign-in method. When they click this add sign-in method, they see this passkey in Microsoft Authenticator preview option here, and they simply follow the guide from here. But the important aspect is that this option adds only passkey to the Microsoft Authenticator application, not all of the other options that they can potentially use. So that's the reason why I recommend doing it directly from the Microsoft Authenticator application, because this way it adds all supported authentication methods at one step. So this is the way how users can enroll for passkey authentication via Microsoft Authenticator. But there is one important remark here. If we go back to the FIDO2 security key settings, you have probably noticed that there are some AAGUIDs configured. And it's very important to keep this in mind, because when you configure these key restrictions, you define or you need to specify the AAGUIDs that you want to allow, or on the other hand block, in your organization. We usually go with the allow option, and we need to specify the list of AAGUIDs that you want to allow. Each FIDO2 or passkey has its own AAGUID. You typically can get the list of AAGUIDs from the vendor. So for instance, the most commonly used YubiKeys from the vendor Yubico, you can find all AAGUIDs in their documentation, as you can see here in the table. So if you want, for instance, to use YubiKey 5 NFC with the firmware version 5.2 or 5.4, you would copy this AAGUID and put it to the list of allowed AAGUIDs. And that's what I actually did here. I simply took all of the AAGUIDs from this Yubico table and put it to the list of allowed AAGUIDs in my tenant. But there is one more important thing that you need to keep in mind, because your users may already use some other FIDO2 keys. So not only the YubiKeys, but they may use some other keys as well. And I can give you one specific example. So if I go back to my users and open this user, go to authentication methods, you see that this user has registered FIDO2 security key, but it's not YubiKey, it's a key from IdenTrust. You can get the AAGUID directly from here if you click the three dots and view details. This is the AAGUID of this specific key. You see it's attested. It's fine. It's probably not the best approach to go through the list of all of your users and check one by one the registered FIDO2 keys. Fortunately, there is a way how you can automate it. And the way how you can automate it is via PowerShell. First, you need to have the Microsoft Graph module installed. So you just type in install-module microsoft.graph. I don't need to install this module because it's already installed on my computer. So I can go ahead to the next step, which is to define the scope of the Microsoft Graph application. This technically registers the Microsoft Graph application in my tenant with this scope of audit log read all and user authentication method read all. You need to define both scopes, and these two scopes then allows you to actually get list of all AAGUIDs registered for your existing users. So I simply click enter. On the background, it asks me for authentication. If you are interacting with Microsoft Graph for the first time, it probably also asks you to confirm the registration of the application for your tenant. And now I'm successfully authenticated, and I can run the PowerShell command that actually gives me the lists of all AAGUIDs registered for my users in my tenant. You don't have to memorize this command. I put this command to the description of the video, so you can simply copy it and paste it. But let's see what it gets us. It asks on the background for authentication again, so I just confirm the authentication. And as a result, it gives me the list of all AAGUIDs that are used by all of my users in the tenant. So this way, I can ensure that I won't block any of my users from using any of their already registered FIDO2 keys. Because if you don't put these keys on the list of allowed AAGUIDs, even though the users have already registered the keys and used the keys in the past, if you don't put the keys on the list of allowed keys, users won't be able to use the keys any longer for authentication. So this is super important to put all of the existing AAGUIDs used by your existing users on the list as well. Otherwise, it will block them from using the keys in the future. So you can simply go back to the security, authentication methods, policies, FIDO2 security key, configure, click the AAGUID, and paste the AAGUIDs here to make sure that it will keep working also for your existing users for the already registered FIDO2 keys. That's all from my side. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I look forward to showing you some other interesting tips and tricks from the world of cybersecurity.